such affectionate acceptance.
Put a chick in it, make her gay.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
They were big. They were hitting hard too, man.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
Broaden the areas of participation for women.
That sounds very stylish.
What is my problem? What do you think?
Beat sitting home watching television?
Hello. I'm Peter. Where are you from? Originally.
She's tampering in dark-sided stuff. Yes, yes, she did. The entire house is dark-sided.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining me for this impromptu stream. I just got out of a showing of Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire, and I thought I'd share some of my opinions on it while it was still kind of fresh in my head, relatively speaking, because I am kind of drunk on a lot of popcorn and a little bit of adult beverage. But so this is the follow-up to, I guess, the reboot of the entire series, I guess reboot of the reboot, because everyone's trying to forget that horrible all-female led cast 2016 debacle that was simply called Ghostbusters. So when they saw the success of, I guess, Ghostbusters Afterlife, they're like, hey, we can capitalize on this. And, you know, how Hollywood is, they're, you know, let's get at that little teat, that nostalgia teat, and keep cranking stuff out and try to make money from it. So before I get into the movie, let's see, we did have a couple people here with us earlier. Let's see, Jolly Green, good old Jolly Green, stopping by to say hello. Let's see, scrolling down, we got Omni. Hey. I won't spoil it for you. I'll just kind of give you my impressions there. We have Daniel. Hello. So overall, I did enjoy Frozen Empire a lot more than Afterlife. Although I do feel like both movies are really trying to play into that whole, you know, feelings of nostalgia. So if you fall within a certain age range, such as myself, you know, you'll see all the callbacks to everything. Hey, Morb, how you doing there? Yeah, so this kind of picks up, I guess, shortly after the, and I thought I turned this stupid thing off where it's showing the chat up here. Frustrations never cease. I guess I'll have to go mess with my widgets and everything later. Anyway, hopefully that's not too much of a distraction. But well, would you guys like to see the trailer a little bit first and kind of get a sense for the movie, or have you guys? I don't watch much live TV, so I haven't been bombarded with it like some of you might have. But we can watch the trailer real quick and kind of get a gist. Let's see, Ghostbusters, for what the you know, what the feeling of the movie is. This was the final one. Cue that up here. They do that thing where they show a little bit of the trailer and then they say the trailer is going to start now. I hate that. It's like, just get to the trailer. It's a trailer. You don't have to. I'm in a mood, in case people haven't noticed. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and share video. Share screen. And I got it. We're going to do Ghostbusters here. Share. Make sure there's some volume. In July. And I'm not showing it on stream.
By fear itself.
All right, hold on.
Literally scared to death.
History.
Go back a little bit.
Room full of people.
froze to death in July.
It's an unimaginable evil with the power to kill by fear itself.
Like, literally scared to death?
Let's see. Yeah, and I'm really sorry, guys. I did think that I disabled this, the chat on the window here. And apparently it's just going to be one of those extra things that kind of gets under my skin. So yeah, you can kind of see the players there. I do have a comment about Patton Oswalt, so we'll get to him in a second. But let's continue. I have to do these breaks just in case, so we don't so I don't get struck or whatever. Good old YouTube.
Now it's headed straight for us.
They've ever caught
Many things.
It's commanding an army of the undead.
I think we're all going to die.
Hold on to your ass!
Okay, so I mean, as you can see, it looks pretty good. I thought the effects were, okay, not too cartoony. A lot of the stuff today just kind of looks like a cartoon, where it seemed like years ago they tried to strive to make it look a little more, realistic, or they tried to blend it a little bit more with the, the elements in the real world. But it was okay. The ice effects I wasn't all that enamored with, but for the most part, the effects looked pretty decent.
This could bring about the end of humankind.
Disgusting.
All right, so you kind of get a gist, a feel for the movie there. I once again, they go ahead and just throw lots of little callbacks to the original movies, just trying to get into those feelings of nostalgia. So it's like the member berries. Let's go back so we can feel good about it. And it in some instances you're like, oh yeah, I remember that, or this reminds me of that. But when all the Hollywood movies these days tend to rely on that, it does get a little bit exhausting. Let's see, what's James saying there? I totally would. I asked him if he wanted the link because he just saw it. So he saw my post, and I think he liked it. First off, we'll start out by saying I did enjoy the movie. I don't feel like it was, a waste of time or anything like that. I was entertained, which first and foremost, when I go to see a movie, that's what I want to get out of it. I want to know that, or I want to be entertained. So let's see. The most callbacks were from the animated series, which were great. Yeah, it did have that. Let's see. Jared Barnes. I was on the fence about seeing this. The last one was okay, but too many characters and useless ones at that. I think I'll pass. That was something that I did see in a couple of the reviews. There was, I don't know if there was a review embargo or whatever, but you didn't really have very many people talking about the movie, which kind of made me nervous. They just kind of threw up a generalized critics review, or critics, I guess, overall impression online. And one of the things that they mentioned was, yeah, there's too many characters. And I would agree with that. I think they're still trying to insert the characters that we remember, with Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson and Annie Potts. They all reprise their roles. And on the one hand, it's kind of cool to see them. But on the other hand, if they're trying to make the new franchise, in my opinion, they probably need to utilize the old characters less and focus more on the next generation, because it does feel like that they're trying to prime these new actors to, pick up the torch and carry on, so to speak. But yeah, when you have the big names, like Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Ernie Hudson, you do kind of want to, I guess, tap into that if you can, and feed off of their popularity to bring in, the older fans. Um, let's see. Yeah, I will agree on this. You had the two kids. So the first movie took place in Oklahoma, middle of nowhere, and there was a reason for that. You find out that Egon, he was trying to work on something. He knew that this great evil was going to come and plague the world once again. So he was working on a plan all these years to try to contain this evil. And so for this movie, one, it did seem like they kind of upped the budget a little bit. Whereas with Afterlife, it felt like they weren't really sure how it was going to be received. But, that the last movie did very well. I guess they felt like they could put a little bit more into it. I haven't looked at the numbers, so I could be wrong, but it did. I would assume that they spent more on the budget because everything felt a little bit bigger. And that is because, they did film it in New York City, or at least it appeared they filmed it in New York City this time. So it just had the scale felt a lot bigger. They brought the kids back. They're working at a scientific facility that Ernie Hudson character, Winston Steadmore, he kind of founded this facility, I guess, where he can pump all of his money into it and they can study ghosts. And for some reason, Ray is not there. He's still at his, that curiosity shop where, he gets these artifacts and everything. But he does have his own podcast where the podcast character from the last movie comes into play. But yeah, the cast just feels kind of bloated a little bit. And it just seemed like they didn't really know what to do with all the characters. And I would say, especially the new cast, with Paul Rudd and forgive me, I can't think of what's the mother's name. Let's bring up the cast here. All right, so gosh, they don't even show her on the first page. That's kind of insulting. Carrie Coon. Interesting last name. So yeah, she's the mom. Then you have Paul Rudd as the love interest. They have kind of formed a relationship. They're not, here, let me share this as well. I will share this tab instead. Okay. So they're not, like married or anything like that, but they're in a more serious relationship. They're living in the old Ghostbusters firehouse that everyone's familiar with. Winston went ahead and funded that so they could stay there. They have this pretty cool kind of opening scene showing them fighting this really interesting dragon. It kind of reminded me of a dragon from Tears of the Kingdom, the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, one of those dragons, flying through the air. So that was really cool. One thing I really liked, because I like the technical aspect of the movies, I thought they did a lot of really cool like camera shots, camera angles, and how they just, and forgive me, I didn't actually get to fulfill my dream and go to film school, so I don't know the terminology for it, but they didn't have it where they or they had the camera where it would just kind of follow the action along. It was really neat. It was probably helped a lot by, I'm sure, After Effects and whatnot. But so that aspect was cool. But again, going back to the bloated cast thing, I really feel like Paul Rudd's character was a little too, I don't know. It kind of fell into the realms of how they make the men, the male characters, kind of doofy and almost childlike. I don't know if I want to say emasculated, but they just made him really cheesy. So he didn't have. Was he a little gay? He seemed a little. I don't know if outright gay is the word for it, but a little emasculated. But the mother character played by that Carrie Coon, she at one point says, I could use your help parenting, which is kind of funny because, they're not married, so it's not like he's the stepdad or anything. He's there as kind of like the placeholder for the stepdad, but he's not. He's like legally not a step parent. So I'd say the character that pretty much got the most screen time was the character of Phoebe Spangler, Egon Spangler's granddaughter, and they really, I don't know what they're trying to do, and maybe you guys can help me out, but you start to, when you become red pill a little bit, you start to see woke everywhere. And sometimes I wonder, like, am I seeing woke where it's not really a case of woke, or, is it really there? It's like, I don't know. Am I gaslighting myself? I don't know. But yeah, so she's 15. She ends up kind of being put in the back burner because, as I said, when they're first starting out, she's busting ghosts with her mom and Paul Rudd's character and her older brother, who's 18. They end up, causing some damage, like the Ghostbusters have always done in the movies. And the guy that played the annoying, I guess, assistant to the mayor in the first two movies, the one where Bill Murray's like, yes, it's true, this man has no dick. He reprises his role. He was weird. It almost seemed like they had to like Joe Biden him or something, like inject him with something to kind of get him to remember his lines. He seemed a little plastic, a little weird. So anyway, he's bringing up the point that why do you have this young underage kid there with all this danger? And so it took that to make her mom and Paul Rudd's character go, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're going to have to wait till you're 18. So they kind of sideline her a little bit. And she's very upset with that because she's the smartest person in the room, even though she's 15. I guess from a story standpoint, you could say, she's inherited her grandfather's genius. But again, I don't know if it's like woke or I'm gaslighting myself. It's like, did she actually inherit that, the genius gene from Egon? Or is she just supposed to be, slay queen? I know everything, so listen to me. So let me see. Oh God. Yeah. When there's something strange in your neighborhood. And that was another thing they had Paul Rudd do. And it was just cringy a little bit. Hate even using the word cringy, but I did kind of go, ugh. They had Paul Rudd, recite those lines from the Ghostbusters song. And it's like, come on, really? And he's talking to Phoebe's mom saying, busting makes me feel good. Who speaks like this? I know it's a movie. I know it's comedy. I don't know. I maybe I'm turning into the older person that's yelling and screaming at the sky, saying, "Get off my lawn." But so let's see. John is saying, I guess this was in reference to the woke stuff. It was always in the background, and now the writers are getting good at disguising it again slowly. But the last one was the same kind of feeling too. So yeah, the thing about Phoebe's character is, and let's look at her here in this image. Let me see if I can blow it up here. McKenna Grace, very, very pretty girl. I don't know why it seemed like they had to just, what's the word? Like they made her androgynous in a way. Sexually ambiguous or something like that. What's that bald face keeps yelling about? Sexual ambiguity. So yeah. So they take this pretty young woman here, and then they just made her to where it was like a sexless kind of person. And I'm not saying you need to sexualize a young person. That's definitely not what I'm saying. But yeah, at least you should be able to tell, is she male? Is she female? Yeah, exactly, John. They yeah, uglify. Yeah, if you would have told me that this was the girl that played Phoebe in Ghostbusters, I would have slapped you and said, "Don't lie to me, man." But yeah, so it's but here you go. So they take away all of her feminine features, but she has, because she's all distraught that she's been sidelined as a Ghostbuster. She can't go on the ghost busting calls anymore. So middle of the night, New York, because we all know how safe the streets of New York are now. She decides to take a chess set and go to Central Park and just throw down a chess set and start moping. And just lo and behold, you see the chess pieces start to move, and you think, "Oh, is this maybe going to be a sign from Grandpa again? Is this Egon maybe giving her a little bit of hope? Like, don't despair, young one. You'll be old enough in time. You'll be able to handle the ghost and the dangerous missions once you get old enough." No, it's a random female. Yes, it's a random female ghost just happens to appear to her, and you're like, why? That's kind of weird. But the whole movie, there is this very kind of like the lesbian undertone kind of thing going on, and they don't ever, have a real intimate kind of scene or anything together, but like the whole time you're just feeling this awkwardness. Like they were just 2 seconds away from trying to do what Ray and that one ghost did in the first Ghostbusters that went over a lot of our heads when we were kids. Yes, seriously. Yeah, well, the ghosts, I guess they keep the ghost out of Central Park too. I don't know, but I would be curious to find out whether or not they had a scene somewhere in there where she and the the female ghost have some sort of intimate connection. Uh, well, it wasn't an adult ghost. This ghost happened to die when she was 16. So you have that kind of forbidden, almost Romeo and Juliet, but it's like Juliet and Juliet. You have that forbidden love because you have one that's like on the astral plane, and the other one that's in the real world. But it was awkward. It was awkward. It felt like they were trying to kind of skirt that a little bit, but just see, we're woke, Hollywood, but we're not doing anything. Sensual sliming is wrong. Well, yeah, I guess it depends on the circumstances. Yeah, like 75% of the population's gay. You just don't know it yet. No one can be straight anymore, apparently. No, I'm not saying that she is or isn't, but God, the overtones there, they might as well have gone at it. So that was a weird thing. Now, touching on some of the characters, the majority of the male characters that weren't of the original cast were kind of ineffective, comic relief kind of thing. Carrie Coon's character, the mother, Callie, she didn't really seem like she had much of a role, but she was there to be, kind of strong woman character, strong woman mother. I think Dan Aykroyd did really well. I was happy with, his reprisal as Ray. And the few lines that Bill Murray had, I'm not really sure what they had to dangle in front of him to get him to come back. But I thought he had a couple good lines, and he felt like the old Peter, just old. Ernie Hudson was great, but again, it's like the addition of them felt a little, just superfluous. Like they didn't really need it. trying to think what else. Everyone was, well, not, can't say everyone, but I've heard several people mention that they were concerned about Patton Oswalt's role in the movie. He has a very minuscule role. Thank God. I'm not really a fan of his humor. If you are, great, but I'm not sure why they even had him in the movie. It was strange. Try to think what else. Having, like I said, having those kids, the character of Podcast, and the other girl with the dreadlocks. I was like, why have them back? Yeah. I think Patton Oswalt lost a lot of people with the lockdown stuff, but fear can do that to people. It's one of the strongest, if not the strongest, motivator among people is get them afraid. If you can get them afraid, you can get them to do anything. And how he betrayed Dave Chappelle for sure. But yeah, fear is a weird thing, and it can get people to do really, really nasty things to one another. So yeah, going back, the character, let me see, what's his name? The Indian actor. Go back here. God, what screen did they put him on? Am I just missing him? That's just like, doesn't. Oh, here we go. Kumali Ali Nagiani. I am so sorry that I'm pronouncing that wrong. I am horrible at pronouncing names. But yeah, he played Nadeem Razmadi. And again, they had to make him kind of, this funny, dorky. He's supposed to be this heir to, like a powerful legacy. He has this power, which his family are, I guess, they come from a long line of people who can drive back this evil force in Frozen Empire. In the back, right? They really, what's with this, Hollywood? Bunch of bigots. They have almost at the end. And he's kind of an important character. They even put Walter Peck in front of him. I don't know. Go figure. Hollywood a bigot. But yeah, he's an important character, Kamali. And they just made him kind of a doofus. He's able to come through at the end. The bad demon guy, it's hard to, I think these days, to really create a character that evokes a lot of fear. But I think the design of this character in a Frozen Empire worked, but he looked a little bit, like one of those characters from that show Samurai Jack. Let me see if I can find it. Let's bring it up here. Yeah, was it Aku? Yeah, I think that's the character's name. Let me see if I can bring it up here. Share this one. So yeah, this dude here, that the whole design of him kind of like, with the broad shoulders, really narrow, tall, and then these horn-like things. That's kind of what he reminded me of. Oops, was I not sharing that one? I'll go back here. As Ethan Van Sciver often says, every day is a new nightmare. Okay, let's see. Samurai Jack. Here we go. So this gnarly looking dude here, right here. The guy with the black stuff, horns, the chest. Let's see. We'll go here. Any better pictures? That's kind of a good one. Broad shoulders, very narrow waist, horns, but you get the gist. Well, it didn't even have to be some costume because everything now is CG, unfortunately. But the way that they crafted his face and everything, I thought it looked pretty good. And they have a opening sequence which I thought was kind of scary, where it flashes back to New York City, 1904, and it's kind of cool because you see the old school fire department leaving the Ghostbusters firehouse, and they're called to this office building, but it's not a fire. It's everything's frozen in there, and that's the last place where this demon made its appearance. But yeah, I saw it and I was like, that kind of reminds me of something. And I never watched Samurai Jack, but I was familiar with it, and I was like, did they borrow from that? I don't know. It's like nothing's original anymore. Maybe they did. Who knows? So anybody from the chat like have any questions about it? I for a rating, I would say this movie is probably, in my opinion, about a 6, maybe a 6.5 out of 10. Not and it like, for me, that's like okay. I could probably live a comfortable life never watching it again, but I don't regret seeing it. Like I said, I don't feel like it's a waste of time. So yes, I would definitely phrase it like that. It's definitely watchable, but go into it with certain expectations. I think production values and everything have definitely been amped up from the previous one. However, yeah, it's dipping into the nostalgia well. It has some good moments. There was this, yeah, that's fair. I could appreciate that 7.5 or 8. I think for me, probably a lot of my score has to do with I just felt like it relied a little bit heavily on the the feelings of nostalgia and the member berries. Your friends thought it was gay. Well, I don't know. I'd be interested. What age group are your friends? Are they like teens, 20s, 30s? Because I could see that impacting, how you view the movie. 30s, okay. So kind of still on the precipice of where they could have enjoyed the original ones, but maybe the member berries aren't affecting them quite as much. Yeah, I liked. That's true. There was this cool ghost called Possessor, and I love the concept of it. And I'm surprised they haven't used it earlier, unless they have used it earlier in the cartoon. It's been a while since I watched the Ghostbusters cartoon, but I had a lunchbox. I did have a lunchbox. What, honey? You want to come up? Trying to see if my dog wants to come up. But the Possessor, the concept of that ghost was it could possess anything that it came into contact with, which, like, how has that not been a thing before? See, you'll see it go into, say a cell phone, and all of a sudden the cell phone's, going crazy. I liked when it possessed a folding chair. Such a just random stupid object, and but the way that they animated the folding chair, it was rather humorous. It's probably a case of simple things for simple minds, but I thought that was rather unique, and it made me chuckle. It does possess Ecto-1 at some point. And yes, there were some after credit scenes. Well, I stayed for one. I was kind of anxious to get home. So there was one with the little Stay Puffed Marshmallow mini guys. Those, I don't know why they had to bring that back. I guess it's just something to kind of entertain the kiddies, like, oh, look, they're cute and mischievous. You do get to see Slimer, which was kind of cool. He has a moment with the kid. What was his name in the movie? The older brother, Trevor, played by Finn Wolfhard. That's a very interesting name, Finn Wolfhard. Better than what Wolf Soft, I guess. I don't know. It wasn't anything like groundbreaking or whatever. Yeah, I tend to agree with you on that. Slimer was a bit wasted, but he did look good. Yeah, it was nice to see him kind of slime people again, as is his MO. Um, let's see. Yeah, Ghostbusters 2 into canon. Yes, they did talk about the Statue of Liberty coming to life and everything, but no Oscar or Vigo, which is true. They could have had Oscar, right? Grown up. And yeah, Vigo maybe show the painting kind of in a like Indiana Jones-esque kind of way where they have it. Well, of course, the painting was altered at the end of Ghostbusters 2, but maybe something where Vigo kind of makes a little appearance in the background would have been amusing. But again, then you're falling into the, having to rely on the nostalgia parts again. So I don't know. It's just me. Again, I would say that this movie is worth a watch. Like I said, if it's on cable or something and there's nothing else to watch, I would probably watch it just for the funny bits. Let's see. Onion Head, is that canon? Really? He has a thing for Fritos, that's for sure. But would I go out of my way to like try to get the DVD or watch it again? Probably not. Definitely enjoy this one better than Afterlife. Although that was a nice kind of tribute to now I'm going blank, but the guy that played Egon Spangler. Why can't somebody help me out here? Booze, kids, it damages brain cells. Don't do it. But yeah, Spangler, that actor. Yeah, thanks. I know I could always count in the chat. You guys are great. Thank you, Harold Ramis. Good Lord. Don't get old. It's depressing. So other than that, yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on Ghostbusters. The effects were okay. And I wish they could go back to using practical effects in conjunction with the digital effects. I miss the days of, the blending of the two. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Harold Ramis's Egon was definitely very, very likable. Let's see. Hey, what's going on, Jay? I was talking about Ghostbusters, the new Ghostbusters movie. I gave it about a 6.5 out of 10. And for me, I consider that pretty decent. I would recommend a watch, but there are some issues with it. Yes, I agree with that. I think the highlight of the special effects, the era of special effects for me is still going to be Jurassic Park, the first one. There was something about how they could take, the props and everything, the physical props, and then kind of merge that with the visual, computer effects, and just kind of bring it all to life. It's almost like we need one, you can't have one without the other. Or you can, but maybe it just takes way too long and way too much money for them to, go through it with a fine-tooth comb. Yeah, that water rippling in the glass, that was horrifying. I remember seeing that in the theater and going, ooh, yeah, something is horrible. Let's see. The Dark Knight FX. I don't rightly know. What about it? What about the Dark Knight FX? You want to come in here, Jay? I can send you the link so people don't have to hear my ass just rambling on. Well, I will send you the link just in case. Okay, let's see. For the love of God. Let's see. Yesterday, I had my internet go out all day. That was a weird experience. And then my phone, which I normally have, 5G and everything, it's all perfect, decided to give me just the weakest signal ever. So yeah, that was good times. Good times. All right, I sent you the link, Jay. Let's see. My favorite reference was to the real Ghostbusters toys. The arm cannon wand is a reference to how the wand's attached to the toys. And I don't know if you experienced this too, but so yeah, it was because they didn't have where I guess you could insert the the wand of the proton pack into the figure's hands. It was like two little plastic half squares, and you had to slide the arm into it, and then it had like a little piece on the back, where you could rotate it, and it looked like the ray from the proton pack. They were cool, but I was going to ask. I had the same thing. Almost all of them ended up breaking. They must have used the most brittle plastic in the world. I don't know, maybe it had the tears of Chinese babies in it or something, and that's why it just broke. Yeah, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. So true. I had one of those, the proton packs too. It came with like a little, the PKE meter, and I think it had a trap too. But yeah, you had just this foam, like what you see at the dollar store or Walmart or whatever, that you could float on it and everything. But yeah, the Nerf one. And just I guess instead of capturing the ghosts, you were just supposed to beat them out of existence or something. At least that's what the friends did. Beat each other with their proton pack foam wands. I had the Ghostbusters firehouse. That was pretty cool. I got that one year. For those who don't know, I was definitely a tomboy growing up. So I had Barbies and Care Bears, but I also had my Ninja Turtles and my Thundercats and Ghostbusters and all that. But the firehouse was really cool. It had different levels, and then at the very top, it had these like a little grate in it, and it came with a container about the size of Play-Doh. And you would pour that over the top grate, and the slime would just slowly work its way through the firehouse and slime everything in there. The Thundercats were Barbie friendly. So were the Turtles, or at least I made it like that. Street Sharks. I missed that show. However, I did see where Ethan showed on Trashcast the other day these knockoff figures that looked pretty cool. So let's see. Let's see if I can pull up this. Get that out of there. Let's see. So we'll do the Ghostbusters. 80s toys. Toys were so much fun back in the day. Let's see, the firehouse. All right, so let me share my screen. All right, so we have some Ghostbusters toys here on eBay. I used to have this too, Ecto 2, that flying copter thing that almost looked like the one I had. Oh, we have a guest. Let me see.
What's up?
Hey, what's
Abra?
going on? Does ghosting or busting ghosts make you feel good?
I
Yeah.
like the movies.
Are you going to see the new Ghostbusters movie?
Is it going to be on streaming?
Well, I mean, this day and age, give it about 3 weeks, and it probably will be.
To be honest with you, I haven't even seen Afterlife. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah, Afterlife, the one where they just tried to erase that the all-female one existed. And yeah, so here, let me hide this real quick. Why is it big? Everything's big. There we go. All right.
Yeah,
not that I mind something. Now your face is covered, for God's sake.
Yeah, I love the one, the original one when I was a kid. You went to the now, there's, I don't know, most of the people in the chat would understand this, but you go to the corner grocery store, and they always had a movie place, and they always, the VCR tapes and stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Or in the grocery store itself. And that was one of the movies that I rented. I was like really in love with, was the original, and then the sequel came out.
Yeah,
and it was, of course, I was like 10. I was like, oh, it's the greatest. As I got older, I was like, oh man, this is not so good.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like they have a charm to it,
Yeah.
There's something about it. It's like, especially the first one where you have the statues come to life and they're raging through New York and everything. They look a little cheesy, but you kind of roll with it.
The dog statues.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, TJ.
Yeah.
So TJ here was saying that Ghostbusters 2 is a masterpiece. And I know that a lot of people are kind of divided on that. They don't, they love the original, but the second one, they're like, oh, it was kind of cheesy. I love them both.
No, I like it. I like both. It's just, as I got older, I just appreciate the first one a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the jokes were definitely a lot more on point with the first one, whereas I think the second one, they kind of went into that whole kind of slapstick kiddie humor kind of thing. And
it's like they almost like it's like Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, well, it's in 2 that could have something to do with the animated series, so they knew kids were really going to be into it at the time, so maybe they were trying to gear it more towards kids to, expand the audience, bring more people in.
Yeah, but they don't realize is that, the first one, I think it was PG, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, but it had had a very adult moment to it. Yeah.
It was 80s PG, and so like it's still, but kids loved it.
True.
It had the it had that charm.
Well, it had the elements too, like, because I would imagine a lot of kids just like the idea of being able to strap this, proton pack on your back.
Oh yeah.
Where it almost like a kid could put on their backpack like they were going to school and play like they were the Ghostbusters.
Or a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, or a vacuum cleaner. Yeah.
You get the hose. You detach the hose and you put it to the back. And
Exactly. Oh my goodness. Did you have any of the Ghostbuster toys when you were growing up?
I did, but I think they were either hand-me-downs or stuff bought in like garage sales or something.
Yeah.
I mainly had G.I. Joe and He-Man and Transformers. I had a lot of the made ones. Yeah.
You had the cool stuff. Like I had these. Here's what I was talking about. Yeah, the hand, it kind of slid into.
Yeah, I did have one of those, and like it spins. Yeah.
So it's got the side view there, the back. And yeah, you had to twist the little knob in the back and it would spin.
Yeah, keep showing. I'm gonna bring up something I did have so you can see.
Yeah. Well,
But
this
go
one
ahead.
got some mildew on it. What the heck?
Oh,
Yeah. That was funny about the plastics back then. Look at the discoloration too. Do you have the original Nintendo where it kind of go all yellow on you?
my original Nintendo did not, but my Super Nintendo did.
Yeah, it was something really weird about the plastics.
And
Let's see.
yeah, I'm trying to think what was something else that did that pretty bad. Oh, you remember the what was it? It wasn't Tiger, or was it, the handheld football game where it's basically just red dots?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember playing it. Like I went back, I found one. Somebody didn't keep batteries in it, so it was working. And I put in batteries, and I was sitting there and playing. And I was like, I don't remember this being yellow. And I went back and looked at pictures. Oh, it's supposed to be white. So yeah, that.
I
pretty
had
common.
I had a couple once. One of them was like a bootleg one called, I think, Mousetrap or something like that. And you were going through this maze each level, and you had to collect the cheeses before this cat came and got you. I think it wasn't a tiger one. I think it was just some, Chinese knockoff or whatever. But I had a lot of fun with it. And then the only, I guess, character licensed one I got was from Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, which was just really basic and cheesy. The whole, I guess, unit was orange and had these blue buttons, and all you could do was go forward and then either jump or duck. Very basic. Let's see. I had this this gal here. She you would push the button in the back and then her mouth would open up. It was crazy. I don't know. Her hat like had the eye underneath it. All right, let's see what we got.
Oh, you want to see?
Oh, you want to bring it up first, or you want to?
Yeah. We can go ahead. Yeah, this was a Sega Master System.
Nice.
Can you hear it?
I don't have the audio. Yeah, here we go. Oh, nice.
I have no idea what the ball's for. Oh, there we go.
That is weird.
All right, let's fast forward here. Oh, dang, they played the whole song. Yeah, so you could buy stuff, and you would have to, like, take it over.
Ghost bait.
Yes, each time you had to take it over and dump it in. It was so tedious. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And of course, the banana. That's Rick Moranis' character, and that's the gatekeeper and the
Oh yeah.
game
And then you
master.
got Zool in the center here.
Yeah, and the banana ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're all going there. Yeah. Let me turn the sound down because it's pretty horrific.
Yeah, I'm sure many of a parent threw themselves out of a high-rise building listening to that. So
Yeah,
what do they have to meet up? Is that the thing? The key?
No,
master
you have to stay away from them. And what would happen?
Okay.
Yeah, so you get a call, right? And you can get a vacuum for the car to suck up ghosts, because each ghost you make money.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, in a very loose way, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but look how schizo these ghosts are. Yeah, so that's what I had.
That do you remember that? I guess it was maybe around the 360 Wii, PS3 era. They had the Ghostbusters game.
With that you use the Wiimote.
Yeah.
I didn't have that, but I saw it. But I didn't. I was into RPGs by then, so.
Let's see. Oops. Hold on.
I did play the Sega Genesis version though.
Yeah, I somehow missed out on the Ghostbusters game. I did play what baby? I did play some of the other cartoon like games, Darkwing Duck, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, DuckTales, of course, that was a classic. You could like rent it.
Greatest music on NES.
Yeah.
The moon level, of course.
Oh God, yeah, the moon level, and then you had Gizmo Duck come out. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else here. Oh, they ported it to the PC. Yeah. What's going on, Phil?
What's up, Phil?
Yeah, the Ghostbusters definitely has, I guess a lot of potential. There's a lot that you could do with it. You can make it cheesy and campy, or you can,
right. It can be kids or adults at the same time.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to try to, explore different themes with it, or if they'll just keep on, doing the same kind of.
They're just going to pipe out product. That's all.
Yeah, that's Hollywood, right? It's like whatever is easy, just do it. Oh yeah, let's see, a European Ghostbusters game that was 2-player. That would have been a lot of fun. What was that other? They had it when they did the cartoon. They had to call it the real Ghostbusters because there was that. Yeah, that was Hanna-Barbera or something like that.
That was the one that was based off the movie look, and then, or was it?
Let's see.
The Ghostbusters. Then there was one that was kind of goofy, like you said. They had like a gorilla.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me do Ghostbusters cartoon and see what comes up here.
See, I didn't watch the goofy one. I watched the other one because I thought it was more cool.
Yeah. It was just the logo was weird, and there was actually, I think this might have come out before the movie came out. Here, let me share the screen. And I think they had to do some, back-end deals to be able to.
I think you're confused because they did have a live action show before in the 70s, and I think that's what they struggled with. And then because of it, I think they were able to, like Hanna-Barbera or whoever was able to create this, and then the other ones just called themselves the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I guess that's how they got around it. So let me see. The gorilla cartoon came first, is what the Headless the Bourgeoisie is saying.
That makes sense. And it probably was popular, and then the producers of the movie says, no, we're going to do ours.
Yeah, I mean, for the 70s, I guess I could see like this being popular, but once the 80s rolled around, it's like, this is just a little bit weird.
I know they have a weird, I know the very first thing was the live action, and it was really cheesy. Probably, let me Google that real fast.
So much fun, it's spooky. Yeah, this just is very weird looking. I remember seeing a DVD of this in Best Buy, like around 2000, 2001. And I had never heard of the cartoon, and I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, yeah, that was back in the time where they were making DVDs for everything, right?
Oh God, yeah. And it was, they wouldn't necessarily, clean it up for presentation in DVD format. It was, some of the stuff was rather horrendous. It looked like they took a chewed up VHS tape in a lot of instances and just, somehow ported it over onto DVD format. It was just atrocious. Oh, here we go. Let's see, $2 from JD Kirby. Thank you. And you're that Reproverse super fan. Love that. Jay, you will be getting a night letter for your gayness. Uh-oh.
From who? Sturgis?
I don't know. Yeah, a night letter sent during the day via text.
Holy,
Sounds disturbing.
I can't find it. If somebody in the chat can find that, send it.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Those
Well,
DVDs for the cheap ones and die on you like every 3 years. Yeah, it was like
yes.
it was encoded on there, and then you forgot about it on your shelf, and maybe one day you were drunk and you wanted to show your friends at a party just how horrible it was. Pop it in, and then it's just like, nope, nope, nothing there. Surprise.
Or the laser melts it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Just horrible. Talk about a
Remember back
cash
in
grab.
the DVDs at like one side they would have
Yes.
the widescreen, and on the
Yeah.
other side
Oh,
they'd have the full screen because people
yeah.
are gay.
Uh,
I don't like the boxes. I'm like, it.
it's like, this is the movie. Uncut, people. Oh, Lord.
It's dumb. People are dumb, but yeah. But
Yeah.
I get it
Right.
because everyone's TV was with the 4x3.
Right, right. And it did look a little bit, kind of off-putting back in the day. I remember we got the widescreen versions of Star Wars on VHS when it originally came out, or one of the times that.
Wait, was that the ones the THX version?
It might be. I was really young, so I don't remember specifically, but I think we
Yeah,
went
I
to
think so.
Sam's Club and picked them
Yeah,
up.
I
They
think
had
that's
the
it.
whole, set and everything.
Right.
It was before Lucas, digitally altered the stuff and
Right.
started
He
changing it.
just cleared up the visuals and cleared up the sound.
A little bit before 95 Moromi. But yeah, back in the day with plasma TVs, no, we're talking the huge ass TVs where they had to put warning labels on the furniture because if it fell on your kid, they were a pancake dead kind of thing. Yeah, it was kind of man, my original TV would have like crushed a car for sure.
It was like a 36-inch tube
Hmm.
that weighed like 225 pounds.
Yeah, like one man alone was not carrying that thing out of a house. That was like your neighborhood had to rally together to
No,
move your TV.
I was the only one. I was the only one in my family that could lift our it was 225
Yeah.
pounds, and I had to strongman hug it. You know how they
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
hug it to their body, and and give myself a hernia when it
Oh,
finally
God.
died. You remember the TV? I don't know how old you are. I'm not gonna
I
ask, but-
picture you and your huggies, like just grabbing the thing and your folks going like, holy crap.
No, my parents got to the point where they just accepted it. And then they're like, "Oh, you're gonna hurt yourself." I'm like, "Shut up!"
A cigar hanging out of your mouth. You're like, four.
No, it wasn't like that. But I'd have to walk it like 30 yards to the front of the driveway for him.
Oh
But
my
it was one of
God.
those TVs like the screen would kind of like when it would go bad, it would kind of like hourglass, and you'd have to hit the top of it to get it to straighten out. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. It even had the thing. My grandma had the one where you had to correct the color, almost like degauss it, or whatever it's called.
Oh, degauss it. Yeah.
Gauss it. Yeah. Like the old computer monitors, you'd have to do that
Yeah.
every so often. But
Yeah, because some kid gets the magnet. Hey, look at
Yeah.
the colors.
it's like,
Yes.
oh God, dang it, Billy, why'd you have to go and do that?
Or the
Yeah, it's a
TV
weird sound too.
Or the TVs that you go with your grandmother and the TV was like made of oak.
That's my grandmother's TV. It was like built into this stand and everything.
Mhm.
And
on top was like a record player and a radio.
yeah. She had
Mhm.
these two speakers that were made out of hickory, like the outside wood part was hickory. I
God,
wish
they
I
look-
still had them today. Oh my
They look
God.
beautiful.
Yeah, they were. And they, for just being stereo, it sounded great. But
Zenith.
yeah, the Zenith. Yeah, you had it. Zenith was like, the
Top of the line.
well, hence Zenith. But yeah, they were like the
Mhm.
pinnacle back then. Let's see. Yeah, we're talking about the old stuff here. Oh, the wood console. I got my first
To
console.
clean the TV, you get the pledge.
Yeah, you got the pledge and then the Windex for the screen. It's true. Grandma did have to pledge the TV.
And there's like cigarette burns.
Oh Jesus, yeah.
Well, if you grew up where I grew up, yeah, you'd have cigarette burns.
Yeah, my mom, bless her, I love her, but she was a horrible chain smoker until one day she just wasn't. She would do 2 packs a day. She'd light the next cigarette with the old one kind of thing. And Yeah, one day she was doing something and somehow like ended up melting a candle or whatever. And the whole thing melted over our Nintendo. And so the wax dripped all into our original Nintendo. I
Oh
don't know, these
man.
were weird times. Like, and then my mom had one of those, I don't know if you've ever seen those crystal ashtrays where it's like really ornate looking. And if you
Yes,
could, if
it's like
somebody came to
huge,
rob
right?
your house, yeah, if
Yeah,
somebody came to rob your house, you could literally defend yourself and
right.
fend them off with the ashtray. Like first you'd blind them by throwing the ashes with the butts in their eye, and then just whack that MF right up the side of the head, and they were dead.
Yeah,
It was
there
just
was
different
that brown stained glass
times.
or green. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
Mhm.
God.
They were the size of dinner plates. That's how bad they
Yeah,
were. Yeah.
they were flipping huge. You could have the whole community just like smoking a cigarette around one ashtray.
Yeah, no, they were.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Like you would have people coming over to your house and
But yeah.
without even asking,
Oh yeah, they'd
they would
light up a
just light up.
cigarette. Yeah, it's just that's what it was back then.
Grandma would just bring an ashtray over instead of saying, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Like, different times, man. Best of times. Yeah, the 10-pound ashtrays. I'm telling you, you didn't have to have guns in your house back then. I mean, it was cool if you had them, but if you couldn't work that in, you know, maybe you had maybe you were on parole or something, and you couldn't have a weapon in your house, so you just had the 10-pound ashtray. You were good. Yeah, the
My,
family room was the life. That's true. We had one TV in my house growing up, and like it was whatever mom and dad wanted to watch. Bam, that was it. If you didn't want to watch, suck to be you, you
you
know.
know, we got the TV after school up
Yeah.
until when Dad got home.
Mm-hmm. They had the news, like the
Mhm.
evening news.
Once
You'd have the
once the news
local
started.
news, the
Mhm.
local news, and then you had the you know, the national news after
The
that. But
the 6 o'clock news
yeah,
at 6.
you better shut up and let mommy and daddy listen to the news.
Mhm.
Otherwise, we got a 10-pound ashtray for you. Moromi had it 5 to 7. Yeah, as the years went on, they realized that, hey, there's something to this news thing. We can get people addicted. I think it started
Mhm.
with CNN doing the whole 24-hour news thing. And then the local people were like, hey, let's do, you know, 5:30, then 5. And now they have news alerts and all that kind of stuff.
Good grief.
Yeah, I know.
They do like I, you know, when I'm like with my folks, I go. My dad, he watches Fox News all the time,
Yeah,
and
my
it's
dad
like
used to.
they do the whole thing like alert.
Everything's an alert. It could be like, you know, it
A
might be
cat
raining.
stuck in a tree. Yeah, yeah.
Ding, Fox News alert. I can't anymore. It's funny that I don't know if you listened to Ethan's trash cast the last couple days, but he kind of
Oh yeah.
made the remark that Andrea was having a little bit of anxiety, and I was like, that's so weird because the last couple days, like I've just like almost on the verge of like panic attacks for no reason, and I'm like, what the heck is it? But
Age.
yeah, I guess I don't know. It's freaking
I'm
annoying.
kidding. I'm
No,
kidding.
well, I mean, probably some truth to that, but I need to obviously I need to do something like what she's doing and go to the gym more often. But yeah, it's just weird, and I could just totally see, you know, if you listen to the radio or you listen to the news, everything is like, you know, fear, alert, this,
Mhm.
that. You know, I don't know how Marahomi is saying a solar eclipse is coming. Is it really?
Yeah, April 8th.
Ah.
Yeah, but you're in Florida too, so
Yeah.
we're not going to see it.
The last major eclipse that they had was what, 2018, I think. And I was
Yeah,
living in Augusta, Georgia at the time, and
been there
we
once.
didn't have the full on effect. I was working at the Army base there, Fort Gordon, and it was kind
Oh,
of cool
Gordon's
because
still there?
yeah, it's huge signal base. They moved the NSA
Ah,
there. A big
okay.
yeah, big portion of the NSA is there and all kinds
Mm.
of stuff. It's huge. But yeah, so anyway, when that was going on, we had the TV on up on the corner, and because I guess they have to have the news coming in to make sure if we're ever attacked, you know, like we know what to do. Uh, so right when it was coming over, we go outside and it was a weird feeling. The animals and everything in nature starts to react to the sun disappearing. So, they're like, oh, okay, it's becoming nighttime. So you heard the crickets kind of chirp
Chime
up.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, cicadas, like the night creatures started to speak, the birds and everything got a little bit quiet. It was like this really eerie feeling. But yeah, was it let me see, last one in our lifetime? Well, that maybe for you, I don't know. I actually got to see Halley's Comet come by the last time. I don't really remember it, but it
Same here.
was, yeah. My
I
dad
remember
was like,
Hale-Bot.
oh
more.
God, the Hale-Bop Comet with that,
Yeah.
the
cult.
clan of people that went and killed themselves with the Nike sneakers and everything. That was so weird.
Yeah, I lived in Peachtree City, Georgia at the time. I was in high school. And it's kind of like one of these planned communities, but they have like 7 golf courses throughout the whole community. And so like at night, me and my buddy, we would go out to the golf course because it's just open and just sit there and stare.
Yeah.
We weren't doing anything illegal.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah, living in Florida, when I used to live in Central Florida, Daytona Beach, they had several golf courses there. And yeah,
golf courses.
Golf courses. And we had a friend that lived in a gated community that was on a golf course, which don't do it if you can avoid that, because there's a lot of chemicals and pesticides that they put there, and it's not supposed to be a good thing.
Yeah. Wait. Did you play in the sprinklers in the morning?
No, but we did smoke the happy herb at night and sit out there on the golf course. So I don't know. We probably got sprayed with something. Who knows?
Like they always have like these things, and they would just shoot out like 30 yards water. When we were kids, we would go out there, hey, look at the sprinklers, and we're playing at it. And then
you had it good. My dad, he used to say when he was growing up, they'd go down the street spraying, was it?
Oh yeah,
DDT or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What am I saying it right, or is that a wrestling move? I always get that mixed up.
No, it's the same thing. Yeah,
okay,
same thing.
so
that's where the move came from.
So they were spraying in the fog, and the kids would follow behind the trucks like wee, and meanwhile they're probably developing like cancer.
Agent Orange disease.
Yeah. Oh my God. I had a friend that he was in Vietnam, and his body was just falling apart. It was horrible. Yeah, the weeds protected you from the chemicals. I can believe that.
They still do that. Well, I don't know if some places here in Florida, they still do that, but I think they say it's safe. And I think in Montgomery, last time I was in Montgomery, Alabama, there was the mosquito truck came by, and I'm like, I'm like pushing my wife indoors. I was like, no, go inside, go inside. And she's like, why? I'm like, because of the
you don't want to mess with it. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, what am I thinking? You're from Brazil. You're probably immune to all this crap.
Yeah. I don't know. Or she has a good immune system, and we're going to screw it up, with her being in the country, being exposed to all the weird stuff. I don't know.
Oh, no, this is the cleanest she's lived.
Is it really?
Yeah, and the cities down there is pretty bad.
Oh, I'm not all that familiar with Brazil. I know the Carnival, and I know they have some of the favelas and stuff like that, but
that's the tourist stuff.
Yeah.
What you saw in Anna's pictures and stuff, that's the place everyone wants to go.
Yeah, to see the statue of Christ and all that.
Yeah, the Redeemer.
I would do that. It seems like world travel is a little bit dodgy right now. Even the places that I like to go to, the resorts, to go diving and whatnot, the U.S. are recommending that you don't go down there, like Jamaica and a lot of these island places, pretty much all of Mexico, Bahamas.
You know why, right?
I'm not sure.
Because when you go there, you spend money.
Well.
And you're not keeping the money here. There's no reason for them to say that, to be honest with you. Now, if it's like Israel, if you want to go take a pilgrimage, I wouldn't do that. But
if I ever get diagnosed with a terminal disease, because I'd love to see the Holy Land someday. So, Maromi's saying, I hear Hades a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go see Barbecue. He's a good guy. Oh my God.
Start a
Yeah.
barbecue place.
Yeah. Haiti has the best barbecue. Yeah, he'll even tell you about it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
So
I plan on going to Dominican. Well, on a cruise. We
yeah.
like going on cruise because we're bodybuilders. Well, I'm not really a bodybuilder. I just do it because she does it. But well, I mean, it's just better that way. It's like because I don't
Yeah.
want to be eating bad food in front of her. So I'm like,
Right.
okay,
Yeah,
let me
don't
just do
tempt
it.
her.
So like we go on cruises and stuff like that because we could just like, you know what? All right, take off the handcuffs. We can eat whatever we want. And so
Yeah. I
that's
saw
it.
that picture a while ago that you put up of the sushi cheat day. That was amazing.
That's her favorite place to go. And I like if we ever do something here, I'd like to get a group and go because it's all you can eat.
Yes, yeah, we have a couple of those restaurants here, all you can eat sushi that are pretty damn good. But when I'm doing a cheat day, like today was a cheat day, so I had popcorn. And then
Oh,
so
you dirty girl.
oh well, I am. I don't eat carbs. I barely eat carbs. So yeah, when I'm there, I'm like a freaking crack addict. I'm like, like
Oh, the sushi, yeah.
yeah, great stuff. I love popcorn. I love the sushi. So yeah, you got to make your cheat days count.
I'm like that with the Hodizio, like where we went for in Tampa. The Rodizio.
Nobody told me about that, and I missed out on it. So
Yeah, well, I think we were full because we had packed that entire. We had to add chairs and stuff, and it's like,
yeah,
we don't have
it
room.
looked really really crowded there in that picture.
Yeah,
especially when you include people that were photoshopped out of it.
it's a joke.
Lord.
It was a joke. I don't. Yeah, whatever. I'm not
know,
gonna get in that.
What can you do?
Golly.
All right.
Like I made fun of you like 4 times this whole stream, and you've laughed it off every time.
Well, because I can laugh at myself. You can't take yourself too seriously. You're not going to get out alive. So, as the saying goes.
Yeah, but we do like to cheat. Like when we do, we go all out.
Yeah. Don't do it in a small, half-hearted way. You do it with gusto.
Next Jack show, I'm representing the chat in the pizza eating contest.
Oh, who's hosting tonight?
Hosting tonight is Cecil.
Oh, Cecil.
Supposed to be.
I'll have to stop by and say hello and everything.
Yeah, ask for the link. I'll send you a link.
That'd be cool. Hang out with you guys. I can't do pizza though.
Well, no, it's next week, not this.
Next
week,
okay.
Yeah, next week on John's channel. So.
Okay.
And it's going to be at 10 o'clock on John's channel next week.
Very nice.
Yeah, they think they can beat me, and they have no idea what they're getting into.
How many pizzas can you put away, or is that secret protected information?
To be honest, like because it's 16-inch, I can put away 2 pizzas by myself.
Wow.
Plus dessert.
Are you getting like some mom and pop joint, or are you gonna have to do like a?
Yeah, it's got to be like a New York style mom and pop place.
Good. Yeah, because like Papa John's or Domino's or pizza, those places are just McDonald's kind of stuff there.
Well, since we're talking about old stuff, you remember how Pizza Hut used to be.
Pizza Hut was amazing back in the day. You'd go to the buffet and you could try everything, and the pan pizzas. Remember how they were so crispy, like almost like a pie?
Right, they're crunchy.
Yeah, it was so good. And then
it was going to Pizza Hut was like the equivalent of going to what like an Outback now.
Yeah, it was like a family.
Family
event.
high end, right?
Yeah, you would go, they'd put those little, stands in the middle of the table that they could place the pizza on. You had your little pepper flakes, your Parmesan cheese. They had some arcade games, in the corner if you were lucky, so you could play arcade games.
Yeah. So it was.
And sometimes they were sponsored by a movie, like Land Before Time. They had these cool like plastic little hand puppet things, and they had
the first
turtles.
the first Ninja Turtles movie.
So they had the
album, or no,
album.
the oh my gosh, they did the live show. You remember they did the live action show?
Yeah, it was.
And they were selling that crappy music.
It was horrible. They did covers of stuff. It was called "Coming Out of Your Shell Tour."
Yes.
Yeah, I had the album.
Yeah.
They were. It was horrible, but it was Turtles, so I didn't care, right?
I remember on the way home, because the closest Pizza Hut was in Fayetteville, Georgia.
Yeah.
So we had to drive there in order for me just to get this thing. And on the way home, I put it in, and the first track that we played was "Coming Out of the Shell."
Yeah.
And my mom, and like it got to the point where it's just saying "coming out of our shell, coming out of our shell" for like 5 minutes, and my mom just ejected us, like, enough of this shit. She like threw it back.
What is this crap? Oh no, that's horrible. Take it back, James. Pizza Hut was good in the 80s.
It was.
It's my nostalgia taste buds, but yeah, it was good stuff back then.
1 second, I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries. I'll probably be ending it here before too long, because I know other shows will be kicking off here shortly.
I just got to use the restroom. I'll be right back.
No worries. Let's go and look at some of the yeah, that Turtles album was something else. Let's see. The Headless Bourgeoisie. Pizza Hut was the only Italian restaurant in the whole country, or the whole county, when I was a kid. Italian restaurant, yeah. Then you got lucky and probably moved up in the world once they got a Olive Garden. I remember when Olive Garden back in the day, they were halfway decent. They used to actually make their own pasta. So you'd see a guy there like making the fresh pasta. I don't know if maybe in the back they would actually change it out and have that kind of like sous vide style of stuff like they have today. But at least they kept up pretenses back then, and it looked like it. Let's see. Yeah, they had good stuff. Yeah, they used to have good toys to kind of bait the kids into the restaurants back in the day too, and especially the fast food places, the Happy Meals, kids meals, stuff like that. I used to have really cool toys. Excuse me. I remember some of the places when VHS finally became cheap enough, they would offer some of the afternoon kids shows on VHS tape, and you could go and buy that. I remember going to Burger King back in the day, and they were kind of connected with I think they were connected with the first Ninja Turtle movie as well. They had some pretty interesting toys, but you could get some of the cartoon on VHS tape. And I remember it was before they released the Ninja Turtle movie on VHS tape. They had the trailer for it at the end of these videos. And I remember watching it and discovering, I'd watched the cartoon and I discovered that they had the trailer, and I was like, oh, cool. So I could just play the trailer over and over again. Kind of the days before internet. This is the trouble that kids had to go through to be entertained when we were younger. They did those glasses. They had different ones. I think a lot of cartoon-based themed stuff. They had, superheroes, Looney Tunes. Did they have Smurfs? I'm trying to remember. Do you remember, Jay? You remember those glasses that you could get from Pizza Hut back in the day? They had glasses with like the characters painted on them. I think they came out a few years later, like, don't get these glasses because the Chinese use lead in the paint.
Like half the toys we had.
Yeah, but you weren't drinking the outside of the glass. Well, I guess if the kids touched it,
but you can through the skin. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember those. The only like sunglasses with like characters were like the ones that were like the different colors, and they just had a square block in the middle of the character, like here.
I'm talking about the drinking glasses where they would paint.
Not glasses.
Flintstones. I think they had Flintstones ones too.
From the movie?
Yeah. Or no, not the movie. I'm talking about like the Hanna-Barbera cartoon. I think they had, or it could have been from when they had like the kid version of the Flintstones. I think they had that back in the day. But going back to actual glasses that you wear, I remember they had something connected to Back to the Future 2, where you could get these futuristic looking kind of sunglass things
with the lines going across.
Yeah, and I guess it was supposed to be their kind of homage to Back to the Future 2. I remember begging my dad. He was picking up a pizza one weekend, and I was like, "Hey, you got to get, give me some glasses." And they were in neon orange and something or other. But yeah, there were some cool
Remember
glasses.
they used to slice the pepperoni so thin, and it would like curl up.
Yeah.
Now I'm having food. It's like food fantasy in here right now.
I know, right? I'm tempting you. I am so sorry.
No. It's all right. I just ate, so it's not a big deal.
My favorite heckler came to join me. Thank goodness.
What's up, Jabba?
Only 50 people watching. He looks like Jabba, but you know what I hear in my head when I read his comments is Salacious Crumb. That laugh. That's kind of what I imagine coming out of his mouth. Oh yeah, the Thundar, the Barbarian ones. You can go to the flea markets and find those old glasses.
They're probably worth money now.
Yeah, everything from our childhood is pretty much worth money these days. Oh no, he's heckling gay Obama fan. Oh goodness. Well, I'm gonna dip out, Jay. I really appreciate you joining me, and thank you to everyone in the chat. I really appreciate you stopping by. Like I said, I got out of the theater. I just kind of, while everything was fresh in my mind, I wanted to comment on the movie.
You just saw it. Okay.
I just saw it.
Okay.
Yeah. I recommend a watch. As I was saying earlier, I don't think it's a waste of money. I don't think it's a waste of your time. I think people will legitimately be entertained. But just kind of balance your expectations and everything. It's definitely, in my opinion, not on the same level as the classics, but there's a lot of callbacks to it. So if you like that nostalgia stuff, you will definitely appreciate a lot of the jokes and everything in the new movie. And thank you to my good friend Jabba the Cuck for coming by and heckling me. A show's not the same if you don't get heckled by a Jabba the Cuck. That's all there is to it. And I apologize to everyone with this stupid text over my face thing. I thought I turned that stupid little widget off, and apparently it just gave me the finger and said, "No, we're going to block your face anyway." So I will. Yeah, I'm gonna go and try to work on that. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jay. It's always a pleasure to hang out and chat. It makes these streams a lot easier when you can kind of have somebody else to bounce ideas off of, and always reminiscing is a lot of fun. So I will try to see you guys tonight on Cecil's channel, right, for the Jack Show.
If he's got the link up, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So everyone, take care, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Later.
50 cents off of me. I've had enough. Get the hell out of my house. In Jesus' name, I pray.